Thank you for joining us tonight at 5:30. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. Tonight, Arkansas State Police are investigating after two people were shot, one of them an off-duty police officer. Texarkana, Arkansas Police responded to a call of a shooting at the 4800 block of Parkland Drive. It came just after 10:30 this morning. Police found two people who appeared to have been shot. Both were taken to the hospital for treatment. Over in Little Rock, officers are still looking for answers in a shooting from yesterday. Just before 8:30 a.m., officers responded to a call at 2400 South Cross Street near Roosevelt Road. Police report finding a woman there, dead from a gunshot wound. We do not yet have any information on the suspect or the victim.
We might have fallen back with the time, but temperatures we have sprung ahead. Unseasonably warm out there this weekend. Temperatures even warmer than we experienced on Saturday. Highs getting close to 80 degrees in some locations. 78 in Little Rock, 74 in Mena, 78 in Russellville, 77 in Searcy out there right now. The sun has set, of course, because now that we are on standard time, temperatures are cooling back down. 64 right now in Clinton, 65 in Mena, 73 in Pine Bluff. If you're headed out and about, the temperatures will continue to slide their way down into the low 60s by 10 o'clock. So a very pleasant fall evening anywhere in central Arkansas. And lows tonight will be on the mild side. We're only dropping down into the low to mid 50s. We should be seeing numbers into the low 40s for this time of year. Check out your highs on your Monday. 83, guess what? That will shatter the record at Little Rock Airport, and I think we're going to see lots of record highs over the next 3 days. I'll have more on that toasty forecast coming up.
We also saw some other records around Little Rock Airport. A Delta flight attendant from right here captures the first time working with an entire African-American crew during a flight. THV 11's Rebecca Brown spoke to those on board about their historic journey.
We don't know each other. We've never flown together before. Yeah. And we just, all the ingredients came together, you know, random like that.
It was a regular day of work for these Delta flight attendants until something special happened on Tuesday evening while walking to their gates.
I think we all looked around and knew, okay, this is going to be an all-black crew as far as the flight attendants. But when the pilots showed up, both of them, that's when it just became like, oh my gosh.
With all the experience in the world when it comes to flying on planes and servicing others, Felicia Kay, Alana Doucette, and Tim Lee weren't expecting this moment of being a part of history by having an all African-American crew.
To actually like have my own experience, it's just a different feeling that, you know, you can't explain. You have to just kind of savor the moment. You're like, wow, this is really happening.
That's when Felicia Kay, a flight attendant from Little Rock, Arkansas, knew this moment was too good to pass up.
It was amazing to me, and I wanted to capture it. I kept saying to them, we got to get this picture. We got to get this picture. We got to get this picture. You guys, we got to.
They say a picture can be worth 1,000 words, and to Lee, it was.
You know, just being from a small town where, you know, being in aviation was not a big thing, but to see all of us, of people of color, and to also know that working at a company like Delta, that this is possible.
With the viral picture surfacing all social media platforms, Kay says there was one post by Jet Magazine that stood out the most.
When they put the flight attendant, the very first flight attendant, 1958, and put our picture next to it and said how it started versus how it's going, that just made me tear up.
And it's moments like this that representation matters, as it reminds Doucette of why she chose this career.
It's a good, warm feeling because you're like, okay, they haven't gotten that exposure to see someone like me do this job. So it just melts your heart because you're like, okay, it makes you feel good about doing the job.
In Little Rock, Rebecca Brown, THV 11 News.
Today, Pine Bluff police tell us that Officer Tiffany Wood is out of the hospital and returned home yesterday. Last Sunday, Officer Wood was responding to a disturbance call on University Drive. That's when the department says a drunk driver hit her patrol car there head on. The department has posted donation information online if you would like to help with her recovery. Earlier this afternoon, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation hosted one of their annual walk events right here in central Arkansas. There are over 100 of these walks across the country every year, raising awareness and funds to type 1 diabetes research. Today's event was at Dickey Stevens Park. Participants talked about the type of impact these walks have.
So I've been a type 1 diabetic for 50 years. So I've watched the technology change over the years. But the funding that we are getting here at this type of event is what helps us change all that technology to make our lives easier.
The next walk in the state will be in Lowell, November 12th. The Arkansas Walks have raised nearly $50,000 for diabetes research just this year. The U.S. is pushing for a humanitarian pause in Gaza as pressure from the international community mounts. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, meantime, stressed again today that Hamas terrorists need to release all of the more than 240 hostages they're holding in order for a pause to be considered. Christian Benavidez reports.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken making unannounced stops during his Middle East trip, meeting with Palestinian Authority leaders in the West Bank and the Iraqi Prime Minister in Baghdad, as the U.S. pushes for a humanitarian pause to allow more aid to get into Gaza.
This is a process. Israel's raised important questions about how humanitarian pauses would work. We've got to answer those questions.
There is concern that the current conflict could turn into a regional war. New video shows Israeli defense forces carrying out raids in the West Bank. While inside of Gaza, fighting continues to rage along with Israel's bombing campaign. Hussam Zamlot is the Palestinian ambassador to the UK.
Our president demanded an immediate ceasefire to the atrocious, murderous assault by Israel on our civilians, on our people. This is not a war against Hamas. It's clear since it started, it's a war against our people.
Israel says hostages must be released for a ceasefire to be considered.
Gaza is probably the biggest terror complex in the world. You have tens of thousands of armed terrorists, tens of thousands of rockets. This is what we're up against, and we have to uproot it, because if we do not, they will strike again and again.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Protesters continue to fill the streets across the country and around the world as pressure mounts for a ceasefire. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
The White House says more than 300 Americans and lawful permanent residents have left Gaza. Now today marks exactly 1 year to Election Day 2024. This weekend is the Florida Freedom Summit for GOP candidates to campaign. The next Republican debate is just days away, this Wednesday in Miami. And a fourth one has just been scheduled for just over a month away. Donald Trump still remains the Republican frontrunner. President Biden says he's working on an outline for his re-election campaign. And we have a recall alert for you tonight. Tyson is issuing a voluntary recall for about 30,000 pounds of their frozen and fully cooked Fun Nuggets. The company says some people have found small metal pieces in the product. The recall only applies to the nuggets that are sold in 29-ounce packages. You can find the lot number for the recalled products on our website right now at thv11.com. Now everyone might be feeling a little more rested with that extra hour of sleep we got last night. After the break, we're going to verify if daylight savings can have an impact on your electric bill. Nathan?
And it is a beautiful Sunday evening around Central Arkansas, but it is on the warm side. And we're talking about record highs over the next few days. I'm also watching a cold front later in the work week. I'll let you know when that arrives and how much rain we could see coming up.